Well, hey there, it's Glory with Disney Adventure Hub, and we're off for our first walk this week. If you remember from last week, I was going to start trying to introduce more walking because we're getting closer to our Disney trip. So, I had class on Monday. I did an upbeat bar class. I kind of trade that one with the core class on Tuesdays because doing both of them together is just too much. But this week was bar. Yesterday, Tuesday, I wanted to do some walking because I didn't have class, but I ended up having to work a lot more, so that didn't happen. Today, I had physical therapy, and we did some strength exercises for some muscles along the spine called the multifidus. So that involves like twisting. Ooh, hope that doesn't make you sick, sorry. But trying to stabilize the SI joints, which is kind of connected to the hip and all the things that are happening. I'm gesturing, but you can't see it. And then we did some dry needling, which I've explained before, but it's just sort of like acupuncture needles, but the purpose is for releasing muscle tension and not for aligning energy like acupuncture is. So that's what I did at physical therapy today. And then we did some cupping too, which I've also said before seems to be really helpful for releasing tension. So I really wanted to focus on figuring out whatever's left over with this left hip, because it just, if you remember from last time, randomly starts cramping and then it goes away. So we did all of that on the left hip, the cupping and the dry needling. So I thought the weather is absolutely astounding right now. Just can't believe how amazing and beautiful it is. And I couldn't resist going for a little walk while it's still so perfect. And then we'll get back to our regular daily activities, you know. And then, so today's Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday, I'll have high fitness. You probably can't even see me at all because it's so bright. Hello. And then Friday, I'll have the BodyBalance class, which is the yoga Pilates fusion class. And I'm going to record that one for you like I've done with the core class and high fitness, you know, just so you can kind of get an idea of what's all involved and kind of see some things that I'm doing to help with my physical issues, keep myself working properly, or at least as good as possible, right? That's all we can do. And I'll be getting a new camera tomorrow, hopefully. So, assuming that comes tomorrow, I will try using that for the first time to record that BodyBalance class. So that'll be exciting. Hopefully it works out okay and I can figure out what I'm doing with it in time. But if not, I'll go back to the phone, or just hope that you can overlook any obstacles that happen with the new camera. So overall, things are feeling pretty good. The left hip is a little bit sore, but of course that's to be expected. We did do some things in class on Monday that involved the hip flexor, which is, you know, this in the front of the body that helps you flex your body forward or your legs up, either way. And I don't know, I think those are kind of a weak link for me, because when those get overworked, kind of everything else pays. And I tried not to go full out on them because I know this about my body, but even just doing kind of half range that I would normally do was still a lot. So I think I'm having a little bit of that happening, but overall things feel good, and I'm feeling very optimistic for our Disneyland trip that is now coming up in 2.5 weeks. I'm so excited. Now, I think I've mentioned at some point that I'm going to be there for 6 days. And so it's a Saturday to Saturday thing. And the reason that I'm going for so long to Disneyland is because I'm going to be recording videos for Disney Adventure Hub. I don't know how bugs on me, how much I've told you about those, maybe a little bit, but the main videos I'll be doing on this channel are themed adventures. So everything of a similar type. So we'll be doing a fun tiki room theme, and I don't just mean a POV ride video of the attraction, but doing other things that have to do with the tiki room. And I think I've got a few surprises that you might enjoy. And then I've got a whole bunch of other themes that I will be working on that week, depending on coordinating how to get them done in the most efficient way. Because I'm not looking to do 30,000 steps for 6 days. That sounds like a no-go kind of a situation. But if I can maximize my usage of space and record multiple videos at once, then that will make it easier for my body to do what my mind is excited about. So that's the plan. I'm still working on how to make that as feasible as possible. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and I am confident that my body will get me through it in the best way possible. But I'm also planning to not push it. So I'm gonna stop and take breaks when I need to, because this is a marathon. And you gotta pace yourself in a marathon, right? So that's the plan. Do some pacing, do some videos, have a great time, and I'm really looking forward to sharing all of that with you guys. So I'm gonna keep walking and get back to you in a minute. I could not resist sitting down for a minute. Look how beautiful this grass is. It's so lush and thick. Not particularly looking forward to winter when everything's covered in snow, and you know, I don't know about you, but I particularly am not a winter sports kind of person. I don't like to be cold, so I don't like to do things outside. Also, I'm not really a sportsy kind of a gal, you know? I think maybe I've mentioned before that I'm more of a dance, and I did ballet as a kid, and then, you know, the aerial silks and things like that as an adult. They're all individual kinds of things. There's no teamwork sportsing in particular. But outside, I've never really liked doing things outside. Now, I have warm clothes to keep me from being cold, but I don't know. I tried skiing when I was 12, so like 40 years ago. And my brother did it at the same time as me, and he's 2 years younger than me. And we went 3 times. And by the end of the third time, he had been down every run, every black diamond run, loved it. And I was still going down the bunny hill. So, I mean, I'm sure I was capable, but a lot of your physical ability has to do with your mental willingness. And I was not willing to do that. And that's kind of carried over to any winter thing, like snowshoeing. I know there's so many people that love all of the winter sports and being outside when it's cold, and that has never been me. So this is lovely, and enjoying this grass right now. Super great. Hey, so while we're looking at my feet, I was talking last week about how I was wearing the snow boots and how they were slipping and to get shoes that tie. But another good component of that I have started doing is socks. And I got this idea from people online, as you know, I get a lot of my ideas that way. And I actually wear compression socks. So these are just, basic black. You can get them in, the full ones that go up, but they're like an actual sock, not like the real thin compression socks or super heavy duty. And as I remember, they have different strengths of them and, of course, the different heights and things. But it really helps with the walking and being on my feet and even the air travel. I wear these socks when I work because, as you know, I have a standing desk and I stand for hours at a time, and it has been really helpful. So I've also mentioned that I buy almost everything off Amazon, so if I can find these again on there, I'll throw a link in the description so you can check them out and see what you think. But I absolutely have started wearing these when I go to the parks, and because they're quite tight, they're not tight enough to cut off circulation or restrict movement. These particular ones aren't, but they are great for walking, having that extra movement. They're not like a therapeutic grade where it's almost like a cast, and those are good for certain situations, but certainly not for walking long distances. But just making sure you have the right tools, if you will, is super important. So good footwear, socks, and shoes. We talked about, what I use is the fanny pack. It doesn't hurt my back like a crossbody bag. And it's helpful keeping things in front of me that I need to use, like my phone all the time and my water and things. And a hat. So, all right. Guess I've killed enough time sitting here in this enjoyable piece of shade in this lovely section of grass, and I should get moving again. But all that work on my hip today has made it a little grumpy, so I'm giving it a rest, and we'll go back to it. Do a little bit more walking. Well, it was a thoroughly enjoyable walk, a little diversion, about 2,400 steps, like a mile and a half or something. But definitely equivalent to one jaunt in the parks. So thanks for joining me for that, and I'll check in with you later this week. Well, hello. I just finished my high fitness class, and you will be pleased to know, or maybe you don't care, but I was pleased to find out that leaning down to do the burpees did not bother my SI joint this week. So hallelujah, I think it is on the mend. And then tomorrow I am going to record the BodyBalance class. It's new choreography. They call it a launch or a release of new music and choreography. So I have no idea if it's going to have back bends or anything like that in it. That typically doesn't happen though. that kind of advanced move doesn't happen very often, like splits. It's definitely not that common. So I don't know what it'll be in there, but I'm looking forward to the new choreography. It's always fun to do that. Not as much fun necessarily if you're teaching it, because it's a lot to memorize, an hour's worth of choreography. And all of those classes, not all of them, but a lot of the ones at the gym that I go to are Les Mills. Les Mills is all choreography based, and most group fitness classes are choreography based, but some of them have verbal instruction, and Les Mills has verbal instruction. Others, like High Fitness, and if you've ever done Zumba and things like that, they typically don't have mics because they don't do a lot of verbal coaching. It's more just follow along. But anyway, BodyBalance is choreographed with lots of great fun coaching in it. You won't get to hear that, of course, because I can't have the sound on due to copyright with the music. But I usually love the music, so I'll be happy to hear it. And I will put something else in the background for you to hear. But anyway, things are going good, and I'm planning on this weekend getting to do some walking tomorrow. I forgot, I'm actually going to go to a corn maze with one of my kids. And so I'll get some walking and standing practice with a little bit of sitting. So all that kind of stuff is really good in getting ready for Disney trips, because that's all the things we do: walk, stand, sit, repeat. Anyway, I'm off to the rest of my day, and I will see you tomorrow in BodyBalance. Well, hey, so here we are on the new camera, and it's pretty cool. It was a little different than I expected it to be in group fitness. I thought it would be great for that because it would track the motion from side to side and up and down and things, but that mostly happened except for when it lost sight of my face, and I would go upside down or something and it'd see my hair, and then it would stop doing that. Or if it had my face, and I'd be centered in the frame, and then my legs would be off the side, then I would be, you know, you'd see only part of me. So anyway, that was interesting. Not that I'll be using this feature a lot in the parks, but you never know, but it's good to learn how things work. Anyway, so that was my body balance class, new choreography, and some interesting things in there that they typically haven't had in other releases. But I like it when they shake things up. It's kind of neat. I don't like things to be the same all the time. Anyway, today is Friday. That was my exercise for the day. And tomorrow and Sunday, I will be walking, adding more walking. So that's the plan. I'm sticking to it. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, and I'll be back tomorrow. Well, I forgot. We are actually going to the corn maze today, too. So we've got class and some walking standing to do. So let's go. Now, I'm pretty sure I've never been down that giant slide. There's a giant slide on the other side of those hay bales. But there is a little hay ride that I've been on. Let's see. Where do we go? I think we go this way. Been to this one a couple of times, and it's really cute. They have a lot of fun photo ops and like a scavenger hunt in one of their corn mazes, so I'm up for it.
But it has always been in a good
Here we go!
We used to just grow, we would grow crops to feed the cows so that the cows could give us milk. This time, that's a lot of land. A few years ago, we grew onions, potatoes, and pumpkins. Farmer Ron and Farmer Bennett are out in the field right now harvesting. Yes, we love our baby calves. They are treated so well here. These hutches allow our employees to get close to these newborn baby calves and make sure that they're healthy, that they're learning how to drink from a bottle. They are also teaching them how to do training on their own. This is like this newborn intensive care unit.
That crazy slide. My favorite part of these is they have a little scavenger hunt in the corn maze. So we're gonna go find ourselves a map and go look around and see if we can find the things. That's what we're gonna be looking for.
One of the best spots.
Accomplish your goal.
This is what we're looking for. I gotta find some stanchions around. Should we go? Whoop. Here we go. This way. Well, glad it stopped raining, or this would be a giant mess. Found our first thing. So we found the tree. Oh yeah. The bowl. And is there a tire swing or? Oh, hammer. Nice! One down. 6 more to go or something. All right, we did it. We only have one left of each. So we've got, can we see it? The pitchfork was used there in the outhouse by the duck. Dun dun dun. Well, super cute here. And I was just sitting down for a little while. As soon as I stood up, my left hip started hurting. Son of a gun. Tell you what. But hey, it went away, so that's the good part. They have the cutest photo ops here. And there's this one. Sun's going down. It's getting a little bit cooler now. It was quite warm actually. That's how the seasons are here in Utah. Fall is a mix of everything in between summer and winter. Look, they even have a horse, no, I mean a donkey, excuse me, named Tinkerbell. I'm gonna get some Disney practice in because they have churros here, and it's like a specialty one. It's Bavarian cream filled, so I'm all about it. It sure was a lovely evening with one of my kids. I will leave you this fun footage and we'll head off into the evening. Hey everybody! Well, today is Sunday, and I remembered on Friday I told you I was going to walk both Saturday and Sunday, but I forgot that I actually had silks on Saturday instead. So yesterday I did not walk. I did a silks class, and I have my own rig here in the house with my own set of silks, so I don't have to do it at a studio. And I have been doing silks for about 10 years now. I started when I was 40, and it is a great form of exercise, and I've also enjoyed doing some general performances. I never did do competitions, that just wasn't my thing. But I did it for fun, and I started teaching out of request and taught in a studio for a while, and then just have some people over and I teach them in the house now. So it has been 2 months since we have done that, and silks is like any other specialty exercise and requires a very specific set of muscle usage as well as knowledge too. But I was a little concerned since I haven't done it for 8 weeks now, and the last time I did, I was really having issues with this hip. So I was hoping that, I remembered how to do it. Sounds funny, but true. And didn't hurt myself. So I tried to do something very basic. And unfortunately, what I chose did aggravate my hip. And something that I've realized now is it's not just the back of the hip that causes me problems. It's the front with the hip flexor. And I have mentioned that before in other videos where my hip flexor is aggravated either by like scissor kicking motions with the legs in class, or by the water bottle pressing on the hip flexor with my fanny pack or various other things. So what I chose to teach yesterday involved, lifting, I'm not going to do it very high, but lifting the leg using the hip flexor, or with the knee using the hip flexor. And that caused problems. So I have had my red light pad on, hooked up with my battery pack in my pants for like hours since yesterday. And that has been helping, but now I feel like I've had a setback, and I'm a little frustrated by that. But, we still have 2 more weeks, and it'll heal again by then, and hopefully it won't affect walking very much. But that's what I did yesterday. I'm not going to show you because, I don't want to hurt myself again. But if I feel like it, I might find some video of me doing a routine or something from the past and throw it in here. But anyway, I did not walk yesterday. I did this. But what it reminded me to do was to bring my ginger when we go to the Disney parks. I use ginger on the silks sometimes when we do spinning, because I don't know about you, but I can't do the spinny thing anymore. And not only for the silks, but at the parks. So have I been on the teacup ride? Nope, no I have not. Does the Incredicoaster make me dizzy? Yes, it does. So there are things that I have not done, like the swing ride. Oh God, nope, not gonna do it. No silly symphony for me. But what I haven't done is taken my Ginger with me and used it. So I might do that on this coming trip in case I feel so inclined. But haven't tried that yet for that. But the reason that I found out about the Ginger, did you ever watch the show Mythbusters? Mythbusters did one on nausea, and they put the guy in like the little astronaut training chair that does this thing, and, and they gave him a bucket, and he used it. And they had him try different substances and methods to help with motion sickness. So like the motion sickness bracelet and the Ginger, and I don't even remember what else. And it was Ginger that helped him the most. So that's what I use for the silks, and it does help. So I'll be bringing this with me to the parks when we go, in case we decide to do anything spinny or even remotely, because we don't want that. So I will definitely be walking later today. But what I'm going to be doing is, it turned cold. As you know from previous videos, here in Utah, it's fall, and we had rain the past couple of days, and it's like 40-something degrees outside now. That'll change again next week, but today I thought it might be a good opportunity to show some indoor walking options. So if you don't feel like going outside because of the temperature, or maybe you have safety concerns where you live and you don't want to walk outside, for any number of reasons, you can go to the gym, depending on your gym, and walk. Now, most gyms will have treadmills. Some gyms will have tracks. You can also find an outdoor track, usually at schools, if you do want to walk outside and you don't have terrain that's appropriate or good sidewalks or whatever. But I will be showing you either walking at the gym on the track or the treadmill. Now, the thing with the treadmill is they do have self-propelled treadmills. And those are actually the biggest benefit for preparing yourself to walk Disney parks, because you have to use your own muscles to move. And that's the same, of course, as if you're in the park. You have to propel yourself. Now, if all you have access to is a regular treadmill that is a motorized belt, then that is fine as well. But I am going to try and find a self-propelled treadmill. And what that will do is it helps you use the posterior chain muscles, so the hamstrings, the glutes, and the calves, specifically for walking. I do remember in past Disney trips, even though I have done a little bit of walking, the first day, those muscles are so sore because you are pulling your body weight forward all day long. So there is a specific kind of endurance with your muscles in the back of your body that you need to have. And using a self-propelled treadmill, if you're going to use a treadmill, will help you work on those muscles and create that endurance. So I'm going to try and find that depending on which gym I go to today or the track. So I will be back later with some walking. Now, I can't do a lot of filming in the gym, so that's why I'm explaining it to you now. But I will show you what I do find as briefly as I can, because I don't want to get anybody on camera in the gym for privacy reasons. So that's the plan. This is where I'm at. This is how I'm dealing with it. And I will see you again. Okay, we're back from walking in the gym. So I did try, like we saw the lady on the trail with the hand weights, I did try that for a lap. The smallest they had was 5-pound weights. So, I mean, that would have been okay, but those weren't meant for holding long term. They had the super bumpy, pokey grip things. So that wasn't really comfortable. But also, we're not really holding things in our hands per se when we're walking, if we're working on holding up the weight of our arms. So I think I might get my ankle weights from my house and just put one of the little weights in it instead of all of them, and put those around my wrists, and then that way I'm not having to hold something. Besides, my hands are very tired from the grip strength needed for the silks too, so that probably didn't help. But I did it just for one lap because the weight of twisting like that as you normally move was bothering the hip flexor. Who knew? And it did get tired and cramp like it has been doing, so I stopped after a couple of miles and did a hip flexor stretch and hamstring stretch just to try and get that to calm down. And it's okay now, but it's just gonna take a little bit of healing, so I'm trying not to overdo it. It really was interesting looking down into the group fitness room. That is the room that I used to teach my group fitness classes in. And so coming to this gym after, it's probably been a couple of years since I've been to this specific location, brought back a lot of memories. It was kind of fun. And they did add, I'm sure you noticed from that video, the self-propelled treadmills in there. They don't have any in this gym out on the floor for main member use, but you can only use those as part of a group fitness class. So I won't be using those, but I will use them at the other gym that I go to. It has them out on the floor, and I'll show you as much as I can my experience with those without filming, you know, other people. But it was a good walk on the track inside. So a great benefit of getting to walk on the track is that you can do stuff on your phone and not worry about things crashing into you or tripping over anything since it's flat. So I was a little bit productive, but I did have a great time listening to a soundtrack from one of the Disneyland rides, and it was the Guardians of the Galaxy mix. I think it was number 2, Awesome Mix number 2. So you can find some really fun music to walk to. So that is wrapping up for week, goodness, what are we, week 10 now? Yeah, week 10. 2 more weeks until the trip. So that was quite a journey this week, and we'll keep going next week with week 11. I hope that you're doing some great things to keep your body moving, mobile, and healthy for all of your adventures inside and out. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.
Check the Ready to Walk Disneyland playlist for other episodes, or choose an in-park or at-home adventure.